On October 19th of 2015, 13-year-old Tristan Skye McMain sustained a near-fatal injury. A large portion of the right side of his brain was destroyed, taking with it a great number of motor skills that will take years of physical therapy to relearn. The hospital bills are piling up, and the family now needs the help of their community. Joining us now to tell us more about Tristan, his family, and how you can help is family friend of the McMains, Paul Sanchez-Hindi. Paul, thanks for being with us. Wish we could be talking about different things here, but before we get into what happened, tell us a little bit about Tristan.
Well, Tristan is an amazing young man, very connected individual. He has this amazing gregarious spirit, full of life, as a lot of 13-year-old young children are. And to see that family go through this struggle right now is very difficult. I see it every day in the work that I do at the Cancer Center. These families are going through so much. But in a very short period of time, in 3 years, this family has gone through not one, two, but three different situations where they've had to deal with sickness, and there's lots of stories across the state where families are struggling, but this family is really taking it hard.
Within 3 years, they've had to deal with a family member getting cancer, a child born with a heart defect, is that correct?
Absolutely.
And then, of course, this injury that happened to Tristan. Now, not getting too much into it, but what happened to him?
There was an accident. Tristan, like a lot of other children, curiosity gets the best of them, and he was actually shot, and it was something that the family is coming to terms with as to how that happens. But what happens at the end of the day is that we want to help guide the family as much as we can into a road to recovery. And Tristan has a lot that he's going to be dealing with over the next several years, a lot, as well as the family. A father that's dealing with a cancer diagnosis, and he's going to have a surgery, and Wyatt with a congenital heart issue, and now Tristan. And so I'm just want to ask everybody if they could just make sure to keep in mind the family and their thoughts and their prayers, and if they could help them with this GoFundMe.
Yeah, which we'll talk about here in just a second. Walk us through a little bit of his recovery process. I know that he just recently, I've been following this, as a lot of people have been following it on social media. He just recently went through a swallow test that was a big green light for him. Now, it's something that we take for granted every single day. This is a huge step, and it just showcases and highlights the importance of the medical care that Tristan needs. So what are some of the things that he's doing for recovery?
I think for the doctors at the University of New Mexico, watching Tristan has been nothing short of just miraculous for them and for the family, and how quickly he's come along. And it just says something to the spirit of this young man. He's determined to get well as quickly as he can so that he's back with his family and living his life that all teenagers want to live.
Right.
And so every step along the way, the family being there at his side and hundreds of people praying across the country have really lifted him up and lifted his spirits, and I know that we're going to get him to a better place.
Okay, so speaking of praying across the country, of course, prayer, a very important thing, but also helping this family, as we said, the medical bills, huge. For him to get the kind of care he gets, there's going to be a lot of travel, plane tickets aren't free, so a GoFundMe campaign has been set up. Tell us a little bit about that.
GoFundMe is a great opportunity for a lot of people. I think that we have these opportunities in place for a reason, and if you can go out to Tristan Skye McMain's GoFundMe, you can find it if you just type that into Google.
You're seeing it on your screen there, folks.
Right? And you can go out and make a donation to help this family. Like you said, they're going to need help with vans, making sure that Tristan gets to the kind of rehab that he needs to get to for the recovery that we want him on, and that road to recovery. So.
How long do people have to donate? Because usually crowdsourcing campaigns, they have an expiration date. Can people just kind of give indefinitely on this?
Absolutely, they can, right? With a surgery anticipated for the dad, and then of course Wyatt with his issue, and then Tristan with this ongoing recovery process that he has, we want to make sure that people know that this family's in need, and as many families out there across the state are. But I know this family, and I think they are some of the kindest people I've ever met, and really truly committed to our community. And so if people could go out there and share their generosity, I'd very much appreciate it.
Community is at the core. Paul, thank you for coming in.
Absolutely.
Again, folks, community, join together around this family, help lift them up. For more information on the McMains Recovery Fund for their son, Tristan, head over to casa.com. We're going to send things